If there is one thing us horror fanatics have in common, it's the struggles of finding the next good horror fix. Well, don't worry, cause we got you covered. Welcome to Critical Duckies, where we dig deep into the world of horror to bring you some hand-picked recommendations that will save your weekend.
The days of endless scrolling are over. Let us do the dirty work and help you find the perfect movie for your next bright night. So grab your popcorn, hit that subscribe button, and let us show you which horror movies you should be watching this weekend. This is this week's Weekend Deal.
Oh, I broke a nail. Makes my skin crawl.
Well, I'm a victim of circumstance.
I thought you called it your pecker.
If you're looking for a movie with more excitement and fun, then look no further, cause I've got you covered. Or, as my beloved Cress once said, I want to be grabbed! Speaking of grabbed, the movie starts off with Kevin Bacon taking a wee and grabbing his ass, and if that doesn't get your attention, then I don't know what will. Yes, I am talking about Tremors. Val, aka Kevin Bacon, one of my all-time favorite actors, in movies like Flatliners, Stir of Echoes, You Should Have Left, and we can't forget Footloose. Okay, let's get a move on. Alongside his buddy Earl, tired of their dull lives, tried to skip town, but in doing so, bumped into some mysterious deaths and a very concerned seismologist, thus leading them into a discovery that changes everything. I love this movie because it doesn't rely on your typical jump scares, nor does it use your usual constant cliches and repeated storylines. We also get to see actors like Victor Wong, Reba McEntire, Fred Ward, and Michael Gross, so I was excited. Oh, and we also see Ariana Richards, you know, that annoying little girl from Jurassic Park. I have to give credit to the writers and director, as the friendships between Val and Earl was innocent, humorous, and so nostalgic. This feel-good movie is one of a kind, and I haven't found anything else to take its place. Movies like Scary Movie, A Haunted House, and Shaun of the Dead, all great by the way, but it's obvious they're more comedy, trying to pull off a laughter rather than more balance, which in this movie the comedic scenes just come naturally.
Come on, it'll be at least a month's work. I'll throw in lunches. And beer.
On to the scene where they first encountered their discovery of what lies ahead. I'd have to admit, it looked pretty disgusting, but if you like monsters, beasts, or whatever you want to call it, you'd be okay with it. Realizing it wasn't normal, trusted by everyone in town, and pressured, Val and Earl are tasked to ride the long journey to the closest town called Bixby to ask for help. This is when they realize what they're truly up against. After gathering bits and pieces of facts by studying its movements, they are left with no other choice but to warn the others of the dangers they're about to face. So, if you're looking for a movie with comfort and style, where they make all the right choices, then what are you waiting for? Get to stepping.
Consider it stepped on.
할매요. 할매요. 나 기분이 이상해.
In recent times, South Koreans have established themselves as masters of storytelling, as well as being willing to take risks when it comes to creating unique horror movies. Compared to the stale progression of Hollywood movies, I would highly advise most of you to take a look eastwards and be open to more Asian horror movies, as they are so fucking good. As a peak example of South Korean horror comes Exhuma from 2024, as the plot of the movie is what makes the movie so unique. I'm not going to touch on that too much. The premise of the movie is based upon the main protagonists being tasked with moving a deceased family member of a South Korean family to a new burial ground. Realizing he is buried in an unholy place, they need to take every precaution to make sure they don't disturb anything or anyone doing so. That is a very basic way of explaining the movie, but in all honesty, I really don't want to spoil anything about the story. The cast and performances are a highlight of the film, with a very convincing performance, especially in scenes involving rituals. It is very clear that the director of Exhuma put a lot of work into researching, as well as having real South Korean shamans as advisors on the movie, as it showcases the rituals as authentic as can be. The movie looks amazing. The cinematography and photography is flawless, but it is the structure of the movie that is the real selling point. The movie itself is divided into different chapters as it progresses the story, but at a certain point the story does conclude itself and you assume the movie is done. At this point in the movie, you have been presented with a really good and interesting premise, several memorable scenes, and a story that has concluded itself in a satisfying way. But this is where the real plot of the movie starts, and the less you know, the better.
Hi, Vale.
Asian horror movies will always have an advantage of having a rich mythology and lore to build their movies upon, and thankfully they often do build their movies around a mythological story or creature. The Mimic from 2017 is another example of this, but we will talk about that another time. Exhuma is a movie that ultimately is built upon the historical conflict between South Korea and Japan, and manages to portray that in a respectful way, bringing in elements from both cultures, creating a movie that, in my opinion, is one of the best horror movies I have seen in modern times. I would highly advise everyone to check out this movie. You will not regret it. And there you have it, another horror weekend saved. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification button to make sure you keep yourself updated about our next horror recommendations.